Hi, this is Wishop, and this is your weekly reading from Monday, May 25th through Sunday, May 31st. So the big deal on the astrological front, at least as my take on it, Mercury is still retrograde, and throughout this week, it'll be kind of bouncing off other planets. Right now, in fact, Mercury and Mars are in close connection. They're like 2 degrees apart. So that can mean that you're going to get some communications of all different types, and because Mercury is retrograde, they may be confusing or even upsetting. But I think as soon as you get to the I Ching, you'll sort of see that there is an approach that might be useful. What I got this week was development. Let me see if I can get this close enough to get it focused. Okay, so this is number 53. And of course, 5 and 3 is 8, and we always think of the strength card, which is always a good idea. This is wind over the mountain. If you can see the symbols on the left side, on the right side, you can see what the trigrams are that make it up. Gradual progress, continuity, slowly but surely, adaptability, and a time-honored approach. So if you think about Mercury as being this lightning fast energy that speeds our communication and our electronics and all that kind of good stuff. But right now the I Ching is pointing towards wind over the mountain. It means the winds are going to blow, and they may blow several different directions, and you even may be dealing with blowhards in your life. But be the mountain. Be calm, be assured, because you are making progress. It's happening. There may be delays and glitches, but it's definitely happening, and you can adapt to the difficulties thrown your way, especially if you use time-honored approaches. So right now is the time to lean on what you're great at, lean on your strongest set of skills, and just try not to let sort of the crazy winds of change, especially regarding communications, bother you too much, because you are moving in the direction that you want to. And so I think that seems like the basic message for the week as far as the I Ching's concerned. So keeping with that, I went back to the Reflections Tarot, which I haven't used in a while, but is a tried and tested beloved friend, and also the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, rather than one of my impromptu oracle decks. So let's flip the cards for the week and see what we got. The Devil in reverse, 8 of Swords in reverse, hello, 7 of Swords upright. Okay, so communication, right? We got swords, we have thoughts. This is about thinking. Mercury is also very much a thinking, intellectualized planet. It's about insights, putting things together. So where we have the Devil in reverse, let me pull this close. I think this is a really amazing looking devil card. I mean, he's fabulous. And of course we see in the Devil card the fiery root chakra type energies. These can be the temptations of the very material, and that can be in a good way or in a bad way. You know, sometimes it's a card that says to ground yourself, get grounded in the material. But in this case, it's saying don't get too caught up in the temptations of the material or in pinning things down. The Devil can be a card that implies limitation, because we have these characters down below, and especially in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, they're sort of chained to this character. And here we have these like 2 skulls down here. So this is sort of saying, when it comes to your material or practical issues, don't get too devoted to one particular idea. Don't become enslaved to one plan or one picture of the way things are going to go. And that's kind of good Mercury retrograde advice anyway. So don't try this week maybe to pin things down, to be too sure about them, to really carve things in stone, because it probably won't work out very well. Okay, here we have the 8 of Swords. in reverse. And of course, the Eight of Swords in reverse, or in the upright, let me show you. In the traditional Rider-Waite, this is a woman with a blindfold, as she is here, and she's sort of surrounded by the swords, and she doesn't seem to be able to get free. And in this one, she is also bound, almost like in mummy wrappings, and she looks like she can't get free. So of course, if we think of this as general advice for the week, not just telling us the situation as it is, but what do we do? Then the Eight of Swords in reverse is saying, try to set yourself free from limiting beliefs, which I know we say it all the time and it's easier said than done. But realize that some of the ways that you feel about things do not necessarily this week represent the concrete reality. To put it this way, you may be concentrating on the wind and not the mountain. The mountain is the reality. The wind is the noise and the activity of what's going on right now. So try to keep your mind on the mountain and try to ignore some of the, sighing wind. And certainly don't let it make you feel like you're trapped, like you're not making progress, because you definitely are making progress. That feeling of limitation is an illusion. Okay, here's the Seven of Swords. So yes, another swords card, another thought card, another card that has everything to do with Mercury. And in the Seven of Swords card in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we almost have a character who looks like he's sneaking away with something. He's sneaking away from these colored tents, and there are other people in the background. He can look like he's getting away with something, like he's left something behind, like he's leaving the group. Here we have a figure that's sort of leaving, and you can read, I think, here where this person in this card feels ostracized by what they think. They feel set apart by what they think. So it could be that you have a different opinion than the opinions being voiced around you, and there are lots of opinions being voiced around you, and none of them quite make sense to you. Okay, so that may be the situation that you're in. Keep your own counsel. Don't feel like you have to fight this battle, right? Sometimes being away from the battle is the better place to be. So this is saying don't get in this fight over thoughts and words this week. Keep your own counsel. Let yourself think something different. Things are going to settle out. They're going to settle out a lot. We're coming to a new full moon next week. And it's not going to be in Scorpio. A lot of people kind of didn't enjoy the full moon in Scorpio, the recent one, that much. It was pretty intense. This full moon is going to be in Sagittarius. Much lighter, much more optimistic, kind of fire energy, not the deep depths of watery Scorpio. So don't feel like you have to express an opinion in the group or that you have to join the battle. You don't need to do that. So let's get the Oracle card for the week and see what we've got. Come together. Okay, so come together is number 8, and actually I'll flip it upside down so you can see how pretty this is. We've got this pelican on top and this crown and this heart and this coming together, and this is almost making agreements, forming unions. Where you see the crown on the top, it's almost like the idea of a wedding or an official union in some way. It represents a passage of life. We're going to come together, we're going to join together, but not just in a social way, in a little bit more formal way. And this is saying, you don't want to do that this week. Well, in Mercury's retrograde anyway, you don't need to make agreements. You don't need to sign on the dotted line, or hopefully you don't. If you do, you will think it through as carefully as you can and think about your long-term interests, like the mountain. The mountain thinks long-term. Don't worry about the voices of this week. Think about what your real passions and interests are long-term and realize that it is possible, even in Mercury retrograde, to make progress on your dreams. And there's no reason why you can't. But don't feel forced into formal declarations of your opinion or, getting into a fray or having to feel like if things have not come together, like you have to be on one side of this battle or the other. If people in your life or relationships have split apart and are fractured and are fighting or squabbling or disagreeing, you don't maybe need to choose sides right now. That might not be the best idea for the week. Just try to hang tight and let things kind of settle a little bit. Not only are we going to get a joyful new moon, a full moon, but a new full moon in Sagittarius next week. And it's called the strawberry moon. I mean, how sweet and delicious and wonderful is that? But we're also going to leave Mercury retrograde on June 11th. So all of that energy is going to settle out too. So I think it can actually be a great week to make quiet progress, as long as you don't feel pinned down, as long as you don't let anyone's, rage or emotions, and that includes your own. If Mars is firing on you and making you feel very, full of passion, I've got to do something, I've got to get things done, I've got to blah, 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 must. This is not the week for that. Try not to give in. Try to do whatever you love to do that makes you feel peaceful, that makes you feel calm, that makes you feel well-centered. And I would say, because this is the mountain and we've got all this swords energy, right, which is very much in the upper chakras, and the mountain is in the lower chakras. And the mountain is where the calm and the peace is. Do stuff that emphasizes your lower chakras. So spend time in nature. With your sacral chakra, you can get a little busy or do some dancing or wear some orange, or, do some deep breathing meditation where you take that breath that's from the upper and you pull it way down deep into the lower, and you let it get nice and warm and grounded with you. You can also do stuff for your solar plexus chakra, not so that you act out in power or flames or flare out at people, but so that you have quiet power, authoritative power, to draw boundaries where you need to, and to say, maybe later, I'll make a decision on that later, I'm going to think about it, that kind of thing. That's sort of the energy that we're looking at. So I hope you have a great week. I think it can be a great week where we're going to make a lot of progress, as long as we sort of ignore the noisy winds overhead. So have a good one. Rock on with your bad selves. Bye.